Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about Weak Hero Class 2 Episode 1. But before we start, if you're new to the channel, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Episode 1 of Weak Hero Class 2 starts with Yeon Si-eun talking to a psychiatrist about his insomnia. He is unable to sleep at night as he keeps having bad dreams about what happened to his friend Suho, who is still in a coma. Si-eun attends a new school, Unjang High School. It is as chaotic as his last school. Rumors are running around the school saying that he killed someone from his previous school, hence the transfer. Now, most of the boys are afraid of him, and they stay out of his way. Hyo-man is the school's bully, and his lackey is Seo Juntae. Juntae runs around the school delivering snacks to students under Hyo-man's orders. Juntae has a list of tasks to be completed given by Hyo-man, and among them is to steal phones from all his classmates. Hyo-man checks the ledger by the end of the school day and sees that Juntae has marked Si-eun as not to be messed with. Hyo-man gets furious, beats up Juntae, and orders him to steal Si-eun's phone by the end of the day. Juntae is the class monitor. The school's policy is that students hand in their phones at the start of the school day, which are returned at the end of the school day. Later that day, when Juntae picks up the phones from the teacher, he steals Si-eun's phone and hands it over to Hyo-man. Juntae pretends like he has no idea what happened to Si-eun's phone when he asks about it. However, Juntae feels guilty when Si-eun fails to make any fuss about his lost phone. He follows Si-eun after class, trying to apologize for the lost phone. Si-eun knows about Juntae stealing phones, so he calls Juntae a coward for thinking he is dumb. That evening, Si-eun's mother accompanies him to buy a new phone. They talk about Si-eun going abroad for studies, and she worries about not spending sufficient time with him. The next morning, Si-eun visits Suho at the hospital. Suho is still in a coma. Si-eun tells him about not being able to sleep and about calling Juntae a coward. However, Si-eun thinks he is a bigger coward than Juntae. Technically, Si-eun is writing messages to Suho while watching him at the hospital. At school, he witnesses Hyo-man and the gang of bullies torture Juntae on the school stairs. He thinks back to what happened in his last school. For a split second, Si-eun imagines beating up the bullies. Si-eun does not act out his thoughts and just passes the bullies on his way to class. Juntae approaches Si-eun at lunchtime. He brings Si-eun a snack and a drink since he sleeps through lunchtime. Juntae confesses to stealing phones and giving them to Hyo-man. Juntae says he does that because he has no choice. Juntae has been thinking about not wanting to be a coward anymore and asks Si-eun to teach him. Si-eun tells Juntae about Newton's third law. Without any action, there won't be a reaction. On his way home, Juntae researches Newton's law of motion. When one of the bullies calls, Si-eun does not answer. The bullies are having drinks at a bar and want Juntae to pay. When he does not answer, Hyo-man offers to buy the drinks. Hyo-man then leaves because he has to make a follow-up on the gang joining a union. It turns out that the union is a gang of school bullies led by Seong-jae. Hyo-man wants to become part of the gang. Seong-jae is at a cyber cafe playing games. Hyo-man asks for more to deliver the current task: steal 100 phones. At the cafe, an older man speaks badly about Seong-jae, calling him a high school kid. Seong-jae bashes his head into the table with a huge grin on his face. Hyo-man gets scared and hurriedly leaves the internet cafe. Juntae arrives at school early the following morning. From his understanding of Newton's first law of motion, he breaks into the cabinets where Hyo-man's gang keeps all the stolen phones. Juntae returns all the phones, leaving apology notes for each student. Juntae then takes a nap. When Si-eun arrives at school later, he overhears students talking about Juntae returning all phones. They also worry about Hyo-man's reaction once he learns that Juntae returned all the phones and worry about him. After learning about Juntae returning phones, Hyo-man angrily marches to his classroom. Juntae knew this would happen, so he put a bun in his mouth as a mouthguard and took off his glasses. Juntae tries to stand up to Hyo-man, but he ends up getting beaten up badly. Si-eun watches silently as the events unfold. All these cause Si-eun to think back on Suho. He remembers the first time Suho stopped him from hitting a guy with a chair. So, when Hyoman tries to use a chair on Juntae, who is already helpless on the ground, Si-eun steps in. So this was a quick recap of episode 1 of Weak Hero Class 2. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and bye.